starting this off is just like when I started off playing soccer, and I had the fundamentals, like a good idea, but I just wasn't with it. I didn't have that it factor. And I would go and I would play, and I would be good, but not good enough to make it onto like a team, you know? So I would go to these tryouts, and there would be 30 other kids, and I would make it past 20 of them. No, I think I would typically make it past like 20 of them. I was like 5'6", 175 pounds, like just like a little bowling ball of a child. Oh no! But I was good. I knew how to play. I had good body control. I was a little bowling ball, but I could move and I could shield. I can specifically remember when I was living up in Newbury Park. It got down to the final cuts of being on the club team, and it was me and it was my friend Brian. And Brian was pretty small as well. He was small and he was crafty, but I was definitely better than him. The only thing was he was in slightly better shape than I was, because I was just a thick boy. And he ended up making it onto the team and I didn't. And so that made me bitter. And I spent almost every day of the next... Oops, why did I just go for that? It kind of almost worked. Almost every day of the next, like, 6 months just training. Just getting better. Getting in shape. And my body just wouldn't let me. I just kept eating more and more because I was so hungry all the time. But I was good. I was incredible. I had such a crazy amount of skill. So I played in AYSO, which is the like rec league basically, instead of the travel league. And so did all the other kids, because everybody would always play in. If you played on club team, you would almost always play in AYSO also, just because it was fun. You got to play with all your friends. And so I would see all of them, and we would play. And my team was really, really bad. I was the best player on my team by far. Not because I was like that good, but because my team was just that bad. And I would play every position. I would play goalie for the first half, and then defender, midfielder for part of the second half, forward for part of the second half. And other teams took note of this. They knew that I was like decent, but they didn't really have to account for me because our team was so bad. We were never in an attacking position. We literally had the coach's son on our team, and he was afraid of the ball. It felt so bad for the poor kid. He clearly didn't want to be there, but his dad really wanted to coach. Anyways, at the end of the year, they always select a few of the best players from the entire league to be on the shootout team, which is they run a tournament of all of the local areas. So we were Newbury Park. There was Thousand Oaks. There was Agoura Hills. There was Camarillo, and they would take all of the best players from your region, put them on a team, and you would play together for one tournament. And a tournament comprises one weekend. You would go on Saturday morning, play a game, rest for like an hour, and then go play another game. And then depending on how you did, you would either play another game that afternoon or maybe Sunday morning. And then if you made it through your pool, you got to make it into the end of the tournament, into the single knockout stage, and then on to the finals. This tournament was kind of weird because there was also some weird like shootout aspect to it. Like you had to be ready to take penalty kicks. Oh no. Oh no. You had to be ready to take penalty kicks at the end of every game. There was like an extra like bonus point sort of thing. So I was really good at penalty kicks. I wasn't necessarily the greatest soccer player of that area, but I was really good at penalty kicks because I was super highly skilled. So obviously I made it as like one of the last picks onto the team, and I made it as a backup goalkeeper. So we get together maybe 2 weeks before the tournament starts. And we have practice so that, you know, you can get to know each other, because soccer is a very synergistic game. You got to have good synergies. And we had this old English... No, he wasn't even that old. He was probably in his late 40s. we had this old English coach who was really cool. His name was Steve McDaniel. I can still remember him today. And he ran all of our practices. He put our squad together, and he saw that I was just dominating people during these practices. And he was like, why is this kid playing backup goalie? I don't understand. Oh, I failed to mention one key detail. During the season, I grew 3 inches. So I went from being 5'6" to 5'9". And with those 3 inches, I got a lot faster. So I went from 5'6" to 5'9". I was still one of the most skilled players in the league, but I was on one of the worst teams. Made it onto the All-Star team. Not the All-Star team, but the shootout team. The backup shootout team, even, just because I was a good goalkeeper. As the backup goalkeeper. So we make it to practices. I start dominating the A team. They bring me onto the A team as a defender. I start pushing up as defender too much during practices, but I'm doing good things. Like, I'm putting good crosses into good spots. I'm very, like, insightful on defense. And our coach decides to put me at outside midfielder. He notices that I don't really pay attention to the whole outside part. So I stop playing outside midfielder, and he puts me at center midfielder. Oh no. And I work pretty well at center midfielder, but he notices that I am starting to push up a little bit too much. That I'm a little bit too obsessed with getting towards the goal and scoring, or assisting people, or winning headers up in the box area. So then he moves me up to forward. So within a matter of 2 weeks, I went from being some random no-name scrub player on the backup, as a backup goalkeeper on the secondary squad's shootout team, to being the starting forward on the starting shootout team. We go on to just dominate the tournament. I score like 6 goals in 5 games, including like a free kick that people were just losing their mind on. It was one of the best free kicks I'd ever taken in my life. It was crazy. And then after the shootout season, there's the actual All-Star season. And previously you'd already had known if you were going to be on the All-Star team. So I got called up after that tournament to play on the All-Star team as the starting forward. Literally had never played starting forward in my life before. I just got called up. But the whole grind and journey through that initial soccer is like how I feel with Pogo Stuck. Like right now I feel like I'm just hot garbage. Like I'm just terrible. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm not in shape. I don't have good skills. But I'm on the grind and I'm ready. I'm gonna get there. And we're coming for you, Pogo Stuck 2. We're coming for you. Took me a while to get through Pogo Stuck 1. A little over 20-something hours. Pogo Stuck 2 definitely has been more difficult already, but I'm convinced that I will be able to make it happen. But yeah, sometimes it seems like the world is against you and everything's really difficult, and you just gotta keep pushing a little bit harder. Eventually you'll break through, look back on it with fond memories. Or maybe those memories will be completely erased because of concussions. I couldn't tell you, I don't remember. I do remember. I did end up playing my old soccer team from Newbury Park once when I moved back to San Diego. I think I was playing on Albion's soccer team, and I ended up playing against my friend Andrew. We both had incredibly long hair, and I heard them before the game started, and he was talking to his teammates, and he's like, "Whatever you do, don't let don't let number 14 score." Oh, I thought I could land on that. I can't. Now I'm going even further down. Now I'm going to bounce off of that. Take it back up here. I can't. And now I'm going to go down to the bottom. So literally on the very first kickoff, someone touches the ball forward to me, and you're usually like You're usually supposed to pass it back so that your team can just maintain possession. I just dribbled forward, dribbled through 4 people, and scored. And he was so pissed. He's like, guys, I told you, what are you doing? But we ended up getting dominated because my team wasn't very good, and their team was stacked with talent. And though I speak as though, like, I was some jock, I was really good at sports, but I wasn't, like, the jock type. I was still a fucking nerd. Like, I hung out with all the nerds. Most of the nerds would play basketball together too. We were relatively athletic, but we also would like get together and fucking play LAN Halo games. There was like one summer where I'd just go over to my homie Chris's house and I would just watch him play Halo 2 online. Like I wouldn't all the time even play with him, I would just watch him because he was so good. I watched him and his friend Moses play against Ogre 1 and Ogre 2, and not only did they just like crush, but he was just singing Ain't No Hollaback Girl into the microphone the entire time. Because back then, like when you killed someone, you could hear each other for like a very short amount of time. And so they would just hear him singing Ain't No Hollaback Girl. But I do attribute a lot of my like fighting spirit to to that one soccer coach who didn't pick me. Oh, I forgot to get to the best part. Oh my god. So that one soccer coach doesn't pick me for that club team, and I go on to grow 3 inches in like 2 months, play on the Panther Shootout team, play on the AYSO All-Star team, ball out on the AYSO All-Star team, and then like after the AYSO All-Star team was selected, there's like an inaugural tournament where it's just the All-Star tournament, and again, you just play against all the other All-Star teams from different areas. You know, you got your Camarillo, your Thousand Oaks, your Agura Hills, and I just play out of my goddamn mind. I could do absolutely no wrong that tournament. I think we played a total of like 7 games, and I think I scored like 9 or 10 goals and had like 3 assists. I just destroyed everybody. I scored 2 goals in the final. We won 2-1. The best part though, I'm jogging off of the field after winning and being like clearly the man of the match, like player of the tournament, and I see that coach. There were like a couple different scouts that were out there looking for players to pick up for their club team, and I see this coach, and I'm like going over to my parents and like giving them a hug. I'm all sweaty and gross. They give me a water bottle. I just down it, and he comes over and he was like, "Hey son, you played really well out there. Did you ever consider maybe trying out for our team?" And I fucking dead ass just turn, look at him, and I said, "I already did." And then I just walk away, and he was so confused. My parents were just like, "Holy shit, what the fuck was that?" So I was a super nice kid. I was super like mild-mannered, always really chill, but you passed up on me, homie. You passed up on me. I ended up playing on CVU, and we played against them, and we just fucking destroyed them every single time we played them. It was so much vindication. So yeah, I think that's where I initially found my love of competition. And practice, you know, the grind. So I enjoy games like this, even though they're difficult. Because the payoff is so worth it.